Hi, I'm Miles.
And I'm Merika.
And this is I Don't Know What I'm Doing.
'Cause we don't!
Guys, this is the Minisode where we answer your questions.
Please send us more questions.
Yes, idkpod@gmail.com. Please email us. We got an email today we're going to go through.
Right.
One email. It's
one.
I mean, I get it. Like, you're, like, at the gym and, like, you're, like, squatting and I'm like, email us. And you're like, I'll do it later. And then you forget. It's, like, human nature.
It's hard to type. I get it.
Like, do it when you're bored at work, if you remember. Or you can, our Instagram is idkwhatpod, and you can send us stuff there. We'll take it in any orifice.
Yeah, any way.
Any hole is good for us. So
we're tight enough.
Yeah. But we have questions today from all of the same person. We're not going to say who, but they are all from you. So let's start with, how can I be a better ally to trans people in my community, at my workplace, and in my friend groups? This is an interesting question because not everybody has trans people in their friend groups or work or community. I think it's going to change though, because gender, trans, like, these ideas are becoming more accessible for people. I think especially Gen Z, like, people are more raising an eyebrow at gender now, which I think is good.
Yeah. I personally, raising an eyebrow on gender. I mean, hey, trans people, great. Awesome. You know, we probably millions and millions of years ago could have evolved by switching genders, you know, coming out of the ooze. I don't know. Frogs can do it.
Oh, like other animals can change.
Yeah. So
other animals can change their sex, their biological sex.
Exactly. That's what I'm crazy.
Yeah.
So now trans people can do that. This whole, like, gender fluid thing, I'm a little frustrated by, like with the right pronouns and stuff. I know it's important, but at the same time, it's like...
What do you mean the right pronouns for gender fluid?
Like, they, or like, they're like, you need to call him, like, they and not he or she. And I'm like...
Oh. Well, that doesn't just have to be gender fluid. That could be trans, too.
Right. Yeah, but I'm talking about, like, gender fluid where they're like, I could be masculine or feminine. I don't know. I'm like, great. It's confusing.
Because Merika needs you to pick. She needs to understand.
Yeah, for grammar reasons, yeah. Okay?
You mean you don't like
you doing whatever you want to do, but
you want it to be female or male pronouns because they is too complicated?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
They does sound weird. Sometimes to me it sounds impersonal. Like, it sounds like I'm not being friendly. It sounds unfriendly, I think.
It does. Because
they is what you say when you're talking about a stranger or something.
Right, or like someone that I don't really know, or like you're all the way over there. Like, no, like you're here.
Yeah, I can see where it sounds unfriendly.
Yeah, I just don't like it. Like, it builds like this wall, and I'm like...
Like a wall.
Yeah, and I'm like, get over it. I'm sorry. Like...
Wait, who has to get over it?
Sometimes they get upset, I feel like, on social media. Like, well, they should know. And I'm like, who? What? No.
Okay. Well, this has devolved into Merika saying who, what, there's, like, no sentences being formed.
Right, exactly. Okay.
I mean, I just want to speak as a member of the LGBTQ
community.
QAI community. I hate that term so much. I think with trans stuff, being an ally, first of all, as a gay person, do I think that people are always a good ally? To me, no. No, I don't. I kind of think people just don't. I kind of think people are cool with their lanes and they don't care. Like, I don't know. That's how I felt when I was, like, single for a long time as a gay person. I just felt like I felt very alone in being gay because I didn't have a lot of gay friends, and I felt like straight people just didn't give a fuck. And I felt like when I tried to talk about dating with straight people, they didn't even think about how my situation was completely different from theirs. But I'm sure I do that too with, like, black people. Like, I'm like, oh, I didn't think about your struggle. I think that, like, I just see you at work, and I think that we're, like, all experiencing the same shit, but of course we're not. So I can't really expect straight people to be like, oh my God, it must be so crazy to date when you have to date 2% of the population.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. Before you mention anything, I didn't think about your struggle of, there's not a lot of out there for me, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, right.
Or the idea of like, it in the gay scene and not in the gay scene. Like, there's just like all this other part of equations, which I think people don't think about, but that's neither here nor there to this question. What I want to say with this question is that sometimes straight people come up to me and they don't know the right words to say to talk about trans stuff or to talk about gay stuff, or like, you know, gay people, we are not politically correct. We're throwing around the word bag,
right?
Or like faggot. Sometimes I don't say those words, but other gay guys do, and then I can see where people, I can see where people get, you know, or people don't know. I see it on talk shows all the time. People don't know what pronouns to use with RuPaul.
Oh.
They get confused by drag queens a lot.
Right.
And I've seen it on talk shows where it's literally every interview with RuPaul, I see it, because the drag queens play with gender. Like, it's a performance art.
Right.
It's their entertainment persona. So to them, everything is like a thing to play with. Or with trans people, it's very
it's their life.
I don't want to define trans people, but it's more of their identity. It's not a thing you just put on. It's their identity.
Right.
But I see it with like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. They're always like get really hushed with RuPaul, and they're like, I just want to make sure I'm using the right terms with you, and which terms would you prefer? And it's so kind of cringy because RuPaul's like, I'm a drag queen, like I'm not a trans person,
right?
Like, you can call me whatever the hell you want, I don't care.
Right.
It's not important for RuPaul. It's not important to her. Where a trans person is more important.
Right.
For some, obviously they're not a monolith. So, but I kind of think like it's all about not being afraid to ask questions, because that's what I see when people come up to me and they try to ask me gay or queer or trans stuff. Like, they're really nervous, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't be nervous.
Right.
Say the stupid thing you want to say, and I'm not going to judge you, because these terms are constantly changing, so I don't even expect you to know. Gay people don't even fully know the whole LGBT alphabet soup because it keeps changing. Like, no, I can't expect straight people to keep up with that shit.
Right. LGBTQA.
AI2S, and then sometimes there's another Q, and
what?
It's like, okay, sometimes it's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning.
Oh, right. God, this is what I'm talking about.
Asexual, intersex, hold on. I'm forgetting something. Two-spirit, but there's something I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just...
So I can see where people get very overwhelmed by that, because it's
so overwhelming.
Cray-cray. That's why I don't really like...
It's like, and I feel like sometimes it's like making something out of nothing, or like nothing out of something. And I'm like, as long as like people respect you and like look at you as like a person and your character, like, is it really that important? Like, maybe I can't say, because I'm a fucking cis straight woman. So
this is what I would
predominantly white.
This is what I would say. How I've learned about trans stuff is like, partially I had like a public speaker come to one of my jobs when I worked at a school, and it was so interesting. But partially it's like I just watched it on YouTube. I watched a lot of different trans people on YouTube talk about their identity or their surgeries, which you can't always get that information because it's not okay to ask, but I'm like, I want to know.
Nikita Dragon.
So I think
I
think watching like a few different YouTubers, because obviously every trans person's different.
Nikita fucking Dragon, okay? She's on Instagram. She's hot as fuck. She does makeup. Who fucking cares? Wow. She's a badass bitch. She's so fucking hot. Personality, everything. She's fun. Like,
Nikita Khrushchev, got it.
Yeah. No, Nikita Dragon. So fucking hot.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hot, there is this little trans like mini documentary about. You'll have to Google like.
Mini? Is it mini?
Oh no, I'm thinking of a different one.
Okay.
There's one. Okay, yeah. First, there's this one called Disclosure, which is on Netflix, and it's Laverne Cox made it, and it's about the history of trans representation in film and TV, and it's like just super interesting to look at film and TV through that lens in general. And I feel like that's like an amazing, it made me think about all these movies in a totally new way. Like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Also behind the camera too. Like she had all people behind the camera be like transgender for the most part or gay. And then also they had people trained like, or they were training people for certain positions that they couldn't fill in, that they couldn't find that was gay or transgender or something like that. So they would like hire a straight person, I think, and then had a transgender person shadowing them. So because again, like even like you gotta think about like behind the scenes too, that it's mostly freaking white straight people that are making the shit that we see.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of minorities or LGBTQA plus you know, representation behind the camera either. So
yeah. You guys, I'm gonna do you a favor because LGBTQ, the whole thing has gotten so long. You can also just say quilt bag. No one says it, but it's funny as fuck. You can be like, these quilt bag rights. Because quilt bag is just if you rearrange the letters, you could spell QILTBAG, quilt bag.
Okay, great.
You're welcome. I'm hoping we're getting to the point where we're just starting to say each individual label. Like, just say black. Just say gay. Just say Mexican. Like, why are we trying to say BIPOC and LGBT? I heard somebody say LGBTQ BIPOCs, and
What is that?
BIPOC is Black Indigenous People of Color.
Oh.
And I'm already like, I hate that term. Just say what you're saying. Let's stop lumping. I'm done with lumping.
I'm done with acronyms.
I'm done with acronyms.
Done with acronyms.
Yeah. But I would say, the other trans thing is there's this military couple where it's a trans man married to a trans woman. And they're both hot as fuck. There's a picture of them with Obama.
Yep.
And there's like a 20-minute documentary about like them both being trans in the military that's like super, it's on YouTube. Just Google like hot as fuck trans military married couple and I'm sure it'll come up.
No, they are hot as fuck.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, but I would just say, like, moral of the story, don't be afraid to ask, like, what you want to ask in a polite way, because I like when people ask me gay shit questions, because I'm like, yes, let me help you.
Right.
And I'm never insulted by it. Like, I feel like a straight person could literally come to me and be like, is it okay if I call you a faggot? And I would be like, actually, and that might be shocking, but I think I would be like, no, it's not, but thank you for asking. Like,
Ew.
And I did get called a faggot this summer by a homeless woman, so. And I hadn't been called that in a few years, and I was like, I'm back. I'm back, Chicago.
I hate that term, though, a lot.
I know, it's so ugly.
So
I even think the word maggot is really ugly. I think because it rhymes, but...
Yeah.
And also the N-word has two G's in it. Like, they all have that G in the middle. Like, it's just weird that they're all kind of the same. Anyway, we're going to move on. The next question from the same person.
How to throw a birthday during COVID.
Yeah, how do you throw a birthday party during COVID? This person misses seeing their friends, spending time with them in person. Not sure what restrictions will be like in late October. If a party is not a good idea, what other socially distanced activities would you suggest? It's a weird time.
It's a weird time. Mini golf, maybe? I don't know.
Late October. I guess you could do a day thing if you bundled up.
Yeah. Oh, late October. Oh gosh. See, like for my birthday this year, like I had a hard time thinking of what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to have anybody over. I didn't want to go to a dumb bar or anything like that, like or to a restaurant and sit outside and drink. Like I just was so over that. Like. Also, it was like, during a pandemic, I didn't want to, like, I'm like, like, I just didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then Adam magically, hey, do you want to go to Michigan during Labor Day weekend? Or this weekend, like, he gave me the dates. I'm like, wait, that's around my birthday. Like, yeah, like, yes, we're doing that for my birthday. So I suggest you go somewhere. Go on a trip.
With a few people. See, but even that, you got to trust those car people, because you're going to get whatever they have.
I would also, what people are doing now is getting tested before doing, like, gatherings.
Yeah, I feel like that's got to become the thing now. Like.
Yeah. And at CVS, I didn't have to pay anything for my test. Like, I'm pretty, like, they're like, we don't know your insurance company, so we're gonna say you don't have it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, you just basically have, if people really care about you and your birthday, like they'll make an appointment and get tested before the party and get the results before the party. And hopefully they're not dumb where they're like out and about and getting groceries and like going to places in between taking the test and getting the results. So.
Or getting the results and going to your party.
Right.
You kind of have to do a mini quarantine.
Yeah, you have to do a mini quarantine, you know.
But we're used to that by now.
Yeah, but, you know, people are dumb, so. But yeah, like, I would say, like, have, like, a little party. Don't do these stupid Zoom ones. Those are dumb. Or you can have people do some type of drive-by.
Shooting?
Yeah. Drive-by, honking their horns, giving you presents, like alcohol, mostly. Like, you know? And, yeah, that.
Yeah. I really want that thing that I heard about that's because, like, Zoom, I hate because, A, I have to use it, like, shit like that at work, so it makes me think I'm at work.
Exactly.
And it's just, like, one person talking.
Yeah. Like,
and everyone else
talking?
listening.
Who is this? Like, introducing. Like, if you're going to do a Zoom thing, please introduce other people in the call. Like, I don't fucking know who these people are, or I forgot.
But
I'm bad with names.
There's this thing that Zachary's telling me about this thing. I don't know what it's called, so this is not going to be helpful at all. But it's basically like you're a dot on like a overhead map. Everyone's a dot.
Okay.
So it's like a real party. Like if my dot moves towards your dot, Marika, I will start to hear you. Like if you're like in real life, how it would be if I walked up to you, I'd start to hear your conversation. And when I move away from you, I can't really hear you anymore. So that, imagine if there's like, you know, 4 or 5 people on a thing, or 10 people on a thing, it's like a real party where you're moving between groups, talking to who you want to talk to, and then you just move your dot away.
Okay.
Are you following me?
Yeah, I am.
So it's instead of Zoom where you have like the Brady Bunch all just trying to talk over each other, this is like, oh, I'm actually going to have this like little conversation with somebody over here, and then over here. Like that to me is amazing.
Wait, is this real?
Yeah.
Oh.
I need to ask Zachary what it is, but...
This person knows.
It's either being developed or it's real. But yeah.
Huh. Yeah. So basically go on a trip somewhere. And then...
Yeah, I think this year it's just about smaller. It's about thinking small. It's like just get the few people and like go somewhere.
Go somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's... You're not going to get the whole...
Go to a corn maze.
You're not going to get the 20 people in a room that it normally would look like.
Right.
Yeah. Intimate.
I don't know 20 people that would come to my birthday.
Yes, you do. All those townies. Am I allowed to call them that?
No. They'll actually like show up. I have like 20 people that I want to invite, but will they show up? I don't think I have 20. Do I have 20 people that I want to invite?
Marika is having a crisis if she has friends right now.
I don't really care. I mean, I kind of do, but I'm like, yeah. Anyways.
Okay, here's our final question. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Cotton Eye
Joe.
Was it Cotton Eye Joe or Cotton Eyed?
Cotton
Eye Joe. Great question.
I hated this song as a kid. It came out in the 90s for me to first hear it.
Are you talking about like the Euro trash remix?
Yeah. I just like... It reminds me of like the Blue Man Group, whatever. Not Blue Man Group.
Stomp?
No. It reminds me of Blue Abadida Madai, like...
Oh yeah. That's the 2000s.
Yeah, I hate Blue and like oh god.
Yeah, that song was on the radio a lot, and it was it was not good. Blue is not a good song.
No, Blue is terrible.
Especially because it's terrible music and then it's trying to be deep.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Sorry, Europe, whoever created that. Cotton Eye Joe. Cotton Eye Joe is always the song, because I'm again talking about the Euro remix from Sweden probably, was always the song where like it makes you feel like when they play it at homecoming, it makes you feel like a little kid. Like you're like literally trying to like learn how to grind to like My Goodies, then they put Cotton Eye Joe on, and they're like, and it's like being like, bitch, you're 12. And I'm like, I'm trying to be 16 right now, but I know I'm 12. Like,
right.
It's just like infantilizing. It's reminding you that you're like a kid. Yeah, I mean, we looked up the song. It has an incredibly long history. The original song predates the Civil War, and it's been covered by 1,000 people. So that's where it came from.
Yeah,
it was,
but not the exact lyrics and stuff. It's just like the term Cotton Eye Joe.
I think it was literally a song sung by black slaves pre-war. Right. I never know if we're supposed to say slaves or say enslaved peoples, and I think that people are disagreeing on which is better now.
I don't know. They were slaved. It doesn't matter.
Well, I think some people
property.
Well, no, but it's like, you know how we try to say like people with disabilities, and we always try to put people in stuff now. Mm-hmm. Deaf people, seeing people. So then sometimes I think they're trying to do enslaved people or enslaved peoples now.
When you're a slave, you're a person that's a slave.
It's academic. Okay.
It's
academic. Marika's like, I went to 4 colleges.
Right all the fucking time. Like,
I know.
Oh my God, it's fucking exhausting. Like, we're distracting from the real issue, which is black people being suppressed for 400 years. Like, that's what doesn't matter. It says enslaved people or slaves. Like, why does that matter?
I know. It's all just like liberal, whatever. Because that's what's funny to me too, going back to like the whole like trans thing, LGBT thing, is that like people tiptoe in the corporate world and stuff. Like, I've had surveys at work that's like, Are you a member? Would you consider yourself to be a member of the LGBTQ community? Click yes or no. And I'm like, I'm gay. I'm a gay guy.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like that's what the outside is trying to talk about our little world. But then if you go into gay world, it's not politically correct at all. It's like, bitch, work, like fag, like she, like it's like. Yeah. It's not. We're not being like, oh yes, a member of the LGBT community. Me too. Like, we're being like, slut, like whore. You know, like it's not politically correct. Like, we're calling other men whores, which is a horrible term to call a woman, but we're using it as a term of endearment. Like, none of that is okay, really, but it is okay because who gives a fuck?
Who cares? Who cares?
Wow, this is just like a soapbox episode.
It really is.
It is. Anyway, yeah. So. We finish out these episodes with one question to each other. Mm-hmm. Marika, would you be more shocked if I, like, had a car key and I, like, blooped a car outside my window and I was like, I bought a car? Uh-huh. Or if I, like, grabbed a pack of cigarettes that you've never seen before and I was like, I'm just gonna go smoke real quick? What would be more shocking?
Probably the cigarette thing. A cigarette thing would be very shocking to me. I'd be like, it's not like I come out of Alice's and you're like sharing a cigarette with Claire or something like that. You know, you're grabbing like you just hit the pack with like your hand or whatever to have all like the tobacco like fall in the cigarette evenly.
Didn't even know that's why they did that.
Yeah, I think that's what they did. I don't know. Anyways, but you have a whole pack of your own. I'm like, I would be like frightened. I would be scared because I'm like, I think like someone's impersonating you. Someone like kidnapped you. Like
you're like, I'm not safe.
I'm not. Like, I'd be like worried about you. I'm like, Miles, like, what are you doing? You were preemie. No.
You were. I can't smoke cigarettes because I was a preemie.
Yeah. I was like, no, like, what is going? Like, who are you?
You know, my mom got tricked into doing those ads.
What ads?
She was at the hospital. They were like, do you want to do like a PSA about like you having preemies? And she was like, okay. And then it was like the actual PSA was like, have you smoked during your pregnancy? You could be like this woman.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did she get money?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'd be like very afraid. The car thing, I would be pissed. Like, we could have recorded at my house this entire time.
What if I had just gotten the car though? Like, I just bought a car.
Entire time.
Like a secret car.
Okay.
I mean, that'd be cool.
That's how you first presented this question. Secret. Okay. All right. So my question is, do you think if you and Zachary weren't twins or weren't brothers, do you think you would be friends?
Yes, because we like all the same stuff. I mean, we like all the same stuff because we're twins. Right? How do I unpack that? I'm assuming it would just be him, but he would still have all the same interests, so we would I'd be like, oh, this cool like gay guy that likes 80s music and anime and comic books and like K-pop and art and like thrift store shopping. We'd probably honestly be dating. If we weren't related, like
I don't think so. You guys would break up. You would be so annoyed by him.
Yes. Yeah, maybe. Or I'd be like,
maybe.
Or I'd be like, you're too sensitive, and like I honestly didn't even insult you. That's the worst, is when people are insulted and you didn't even insult them.
You didn't even mean to.
Like, let me actually insult you then. Okay. That's how I always feel when people are offended. I'm like, but I didn't.
It's like saying like, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way, or like that your feelings fell onto my words.
I'm sorry that what is it that your feelings?
Like, I'm sorry that my action, like I'm sorry that you feel that way.
No, I liked what you said. I'm sorry that your feelings fell onto mine or something.
My words.
My words.
Yeah.
You ran into my words with your feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'd be friends, yeah.
You think you'd be friends?
If we were like went to the same high school, I'm trying to think of like, are we growing up together, or like is he?
Yeah, like college or like high school. Like, do you think you'd be friends like long term even?
Yeah, I mean, none of my college friends like live here anymore, and it's sad, but you know, I just think about those friendships, those deep friendships that are not here.
Jamie.
Jamie, John, you know, everybody.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh
yeah.
I've had to carry on in Chicago and make new, shallower friends. But that's our episode. I always forget how quick these are.
Yeah, they're super quick. This is our old episode lengths.
That's like the length of our first episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, idkpod@gmail.com if you want to send us beautiful questions like the ones we got. I really like these questions today.
No, they were fun.
Or idkwhatpod on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Marika has an Instagram.
I am Mad Hate on Insta. It's HAYTE. If you can't spell mad, I don't want to know you.
Yeah. And then I'm UGFine, which is UG 6 H's, and then Fine on Instagram and Twitter. Mm-hmm. That's where we live. Yeah, we're addicted and we're sucked in.
Sucked in. Yep. Okay.
Bye.
Peace, love, and gossip.
Bye.
Bye.
Bitch, you're 12.